Hello, 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 hello. Let me double check here that we're live. I don't know. It's been a wild morning. I'm excited to tell you guys about it. Um, but the first thing is that I was in Restream here when I started this, and the microphone didn't seem like it was very loud, like in the meter. So let me see if it's half decent. All right, all right, that seems fine. Whatever. Fucking technology, ridiculous. Speaking of that, well, hopefully you guys are doing good. Hopefully slightly better than me in certain aspects here. Damn, where do I begin? I have a whole list of shit. Where do I begin? Had a really good impromptu call this morning. Don't really know how much I can divulge, so I'm not really gonna say anything. But it was a really good call. Bridge builders related. We'll talk about it at some point. But really good there. Let me pull up the chat here too, so I can see that. Really good there. I'm a little flustered right now because I had that really good call, and I was like working on some other stuff or whatever, and then I scheduled this live always really late, which as a random side tangent, it's gonna be a lot of random shit today. Sorry, but we are gonna tackle two things specifically that I don't have screenshots for. I need to find the comments for. The title of this video is two data architecture live builds or whatever, which is really interesting, and I'm excited to kind of work on that. But we'll talk about that in a second because there's a lot of random shit to go over. The tangent that I was going to go on was that there's a lot of different like page building tools and different things like that. There's been a couple different stories that have kind of stemmed from the Bridge Builders episode, which is awesome. Maddie, fantastic idea. Can't say it enough. Um, but yeah, so I was gonna say that I always schedule these things live. The tangent that I was gonna say there was like sometimes like people schedule lives like so far in advance, and then I forget about them because they're not like in my subscriptions or whatever. Like you get notified, but then it pops up on you. Anyway, I always literally am scheduling these last minute, which probably isn't the best. Probably should do them at least like 2 hours in advance. So if you guys can't catch them on live, totally fine. But anyway, let's just start diving through some of these things because I have too many things going on in my head right now. The first one is that this literally is breaking news that literally just happened for me. And my fucking Facebook account was suspended absolutely, completely randomly. I have no fucking idea why. I'll give you a little bit of the backstory because it kind of runs in line with the other things. But the high level is like I have my main Facebook account, which is that profile picture right there, and then I have pages that I have used over the years. So there was profiles and there's pages, and Facebook has exceedingly fucked it up over the course of its time because now you can have like kind of like switch to a page and have like a profile experience, but it's not really a real profile. Because like people have made page like just like myself, like I used to have Mark Szymanski as my profile, right, since I was like a teenager, and then I had Mark Joseph Szymanski at one point as a page. And I recently switched that to Mark Szymanski, which I don't know if that has anything to do with it. Um, but yeah, you could see here the garbage. I don't know what the hell's going on here. I may end up having to delete that page and not have like a personal brand page and just have a profile. I have no idea. But my point is, if you don't see messages from me in Messenger anymore, hopefully it's not too fucked up and I can just like reinstate it. Hopefully I get reinstated and we're good. But yes, my profile is suspended currently at this very moment. I submitted an appeal, which is literally just a screenshot of my face after they give me no information on an automated suspension like this. And yeah, so we suspended your account. We don't allow people on Facebook to create fake accounts. I don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Creating an account page or group event to bypass our standards, didn't fucking do that. Creating and using multiple accounts, didn't fucking do that. That's not the same thing as the page thing. Hiding your identity and using a different name from the one you use in daily life, I definitely don't fucking do that. So, no idea what's going on there. But my Facebook account is currently disabled. So, very sad. Got to figure that out. Hopefully that gets rectified. The reason I'll tell you again more of the backstory in case this ever happens to you is what happened. What I did yesterday was this all stemmed from the data. A lot of the stuff is going to run in line, so we're just going to talk about it, and then we'll get to the other stuff real quick. a lot of the reason this stemmed from this right here. I'm actually literally getting messages right now too on Facebook. Like I can see notifications for Facebook Messenger, but it's fucking broken. So just a funny thing. But anyway, this right here, the Dynamic Data Fundamental Series. If you go to wpdynamicdata.co, you can see it, or I'll just drop this in here because it's easier for me to paste. That is the playlist, free course. Go check this out. Share it with as many people as you possibly can, because so many people need to understand these concepts. And I really think that I've done a half decent job at packaging this up so you can kind of understand it. It's not tool based. I mean, like I'm using ACF bricks and Crockablock throughout this, but you don't have to use those tools. I'm just demonstrating the concepts. You can do it in your own tools. But I've received some good feedback. I love all you guys. Thank you so much for the support on this. And I am just excited about this. I'm trying to get it out to as many people as possible, particularly people that don't use custom post types and don't understand dynamic data, because it would be really beneficial for them. But also I've had people say it's a good brush up on their skills. So there's that. So anyway, this is where it kind of starts to circle back. So I released this, I published it out, and I was like, you know what? I've seen people run ads for like, you know, free courses, playlists, whatever in the past. So I'm like, I'm going to try that. So the first thing that I did was I posted it on Twitter, and then I just promoted it here, right? And I'm literally just sharing everything with you guys because I don't give a fuck. I want you guys to know like what I'm doing and what's happening. So I spent $10 over 5 days is the way that Twitter or X handles it here. And I'm just showing you like what that has gotten me so far, I guess. And like from what I understand, the numbers in blue down here, this was already a post, so it had impressions and it had some engagements. And then these numbers in blue are like, I guess, the percentage of each number that came from the promotion is what I'm talking about. So I'm spending $50. It's been 1 day, and this is what I'm getting. So I've gotten some likes. I haven't gotten any more retweets or quotes. I haven't gotten any more comments. I've gotten some more impressions, you know, some engagements and things. Apparently no link clicks. Apparently nobody's actually clicked on the link to go to the dynamic data playlist. I'm not sure exactly why you would like something either. Like, cause I'm watching, you're able to see who's liking the thing, right? And I'm watching, I'm like, these are the targeting is so seemingly piss poor on these advertisements of these promotions, these quick promotions on Twitter or X. And I don't claim to be a advertising specialist by any means, but I do know kind of like the bare bones. And this is why I was super excited. I'm tying this all back to Facebook. This is why I was super excited to jump into the business suite and start advertising over there. But we'll get to that. Just to finish up on the X stuff here. Yeah, the people that are liking this, like, I don't know who the hell they are. Like, I see them and they don't look anything like the demographic that I would, you know, think for like WordPress. Just very weird. When you actually go to promote a post too, if you've never done that in X, you literally have like region. You can pick one fucking region. Like you can just pick like the United States or Canada or something. Like I don't even understand how that works. Like it doesn't seem like there's multiple regions. You can pick the age range. I think I did like 18 to 49 or something. You can pick gender, and I literally think that's it. I don't think there's anything else. There might be one more thing. But my point is there's no like actual targeted demographics. I don't know if they're doing something on the back end with it, but all I'm saying is I've also seen ads for people in the Facebook community that are like advertising like a newsletter or something like that. And I get hit with those fucking ads, and I don't know how to target other people like me. So I don't know. I'm just kind of ranting here on my experience so far. But yeah, very, very interesting. I would love to do this more because I need to get into the more of the spot where like I think I'm doing a good job organically, but I need to do more promotional stuff. I feel like would be kind of my next step there. So anyway, I say all that to say that I was trying to advertise on X, and then yesterday I went into the business manager, meta business suite, which is a clusterfuck beyond clusterfucks, and I tried to change a bunch of things. Like I was adding and changing, like I have an Instagram account, I have a Facebook page, I have a Facebook profile. I was trying to like play around with the ad accounts and get that all squared away so I could like just very simply do what I needed to do there. And I don't know if that coupled with what I did this morning kind of like triggered that. So yesterday I made all those changes. And again, obviously we're talking about my suspended account on Facebook now. So I made all those changes. And then today I went to Restream here, And as soon as I clicked the button to restream out to Facebook, it said, like this popped up. Like when I went to like re-log in and reconnect my Facebook account, it said this. So I don't know how that all coincided and happened. I just hope I get my shit back because Facebook is kind of like really important for me and what we do and in this community. That's kind of like the hub of all that. So yeah, I'm not too excited about that being down right now. But also I do have other shit to do. So maybe it's a little bit of a less of a distraction. But anyway, that's enough about that, I suppose. So Facebook, last time I'm saying it, Facebook account is currently fucking suspended. If you message me on there, I'm probably not going to get it. Just go over to X if you want. Right here. There you go. That would probably be the best place to reach me currently if you need me for some reason. Okay. All right. So anyway, back to the dynamic data stuff and everything like that. I'm going to drop this in here. This is an affiliate link. Shoot me. Don't use the affiliate link if you don't. If you've never used Crockablock, it's 40% off right now. It's an incredible deal. I bought this plan right here, this lifetime plan over here. This one that's $699. I bought it for $900 2 years ago, and I use it on every single website. I'm not saying you have to use Crockablock. I have some videos on it. If you want to know, if you have any questions, if you are actually on the fence here, regardless if you want to use the affiliate link or not, if you just want to go here and get a deal on any of these plans, if you have any questions, please leave them in the comments. I'll be happy to answer them. I try to hop in the groups and stuff like that as much as possible to answer the questions that I know the answers to. So yeah, do not hesitate to ask me a question. If I know the answer or have an opinion, I'll give it to you. So just need to tell you guys about that because that is an incredible deal if you are looking into that. All right, looking at some stuff on my list here. Made some other adjustments to my my website here, so I'll tell you a quick story about this, just kind of the update here. I used to have, I need to tell you guys about this because you may actually give a shit about this. So I used to have for the longest time, my first domain name that I bought, I think, was like markjosephszymanski.com. And the reason that I bought that was because I couldn't find markszymanski.com was taken, like all the random normal stuff. There was only like hyphens in there. You would think my name was like a little harder and wouldn't be taken, but it is. Funny enough, markszymanski.com is like some other WordPress guy that I do not know that has like a WordPress blog and hasn't been, I don't know how active he is, but like it's just very comical. Just a coincidence. But anyway, I got markszymanski.co and a ton of other domain names actually like 6 months ago. And I was trying to figure out, do I want .net? Do I want .io? I landed on markszymanski.co. I like it. It's cool. It's fine. Whatever. Maybe it'll change in the future. Hope to God not though, because it's a pain in the ass to change domain names. But anyway, super high level, and if you guys want more information on this, I can give it to you. I can make dedicated videos or whatever, because this is like really like kind of interesting shit in my mind. Is that I went from markszymanski.com. I had a website on there. It was different in the past. Like you probably go in the Wayback Machine and see it. Like it was just like a bunch of, it was not niched to WordPress at all. It was just kind of like my personal website. And now I've decided to niche much more heavily with the personal brand. So I went to and did that, and then recently I kind of covered it up, so it's just the kind of coming soon link in bio type thing. But I am working on a website in the back end, don't you worry. But what happened was I wanted to change my domain name because I took out Joseph from my branding and stuff like that, and it's just like really, it was too long anyway. So I changed my email. Like there's actually a really cool way to do it in Google Workspace where you don't have to buy another domain name thing. You have multiple domains all in the same like Google Workspace thing, which is quite interesting, and I was happy that I didn't have to do too much crazy shit there. But specifically what I did the most recently, as this website is still being constructed because I am doing too many other things at one time, specifically what I did like yesterday was I completely got rid of the markjosephszymanski.com website. I had cloned it and I put it on the .co. And yesterday I deleted this from the server over on GridPane. I changed the DNS so it doesn't come here anymore. I pointed it and changed it over there. So like now what I did was I set it up in Cloudflare where like if you go to this domain, markjosephszymanski.com, because it's definitely out there on the internet, right? It redirects here, which is not anything crazy. But also, I hadn't done this before in Cloudflare. It's probably not that big of a fucking deal. But in the redirect rules, you can like change it. So like if you have like, this is a link, okay? Even though the link doesn't necessarily work right now per se, because I haven't released the website. Imagine that you had this website and everywhere on the internet it said markjosemansky.com/tools, right? And you're changing the domain name. So I was able to do it like this, like a dynamic redirect where it now goes to marksmansky.co/tools. And obviously the page isn't available yet. But my point is that I was able to get those to persist like anything after there with the redirect. Very cool. Cloudflare is awesome. I don't understand how it's free. Hopefully it's not a trap. But yeah, so I'm super excited about that. And that's going well. So more shit to come there because I want to definitely get you guys some more content here and make myself look a little slightly more legitimate because I have so many ideas for this website and I'm just dragging my feet. But other than that, we're good there. Another big update here is Bridge Builders is hot. It is on fire. We are getting people all over the place. Maddie and I and a partner yet to be named are talking about like all sorts of cool shit. We're talking about the next episode, even the episodes after that. People are excited about this. I'm really excited that people are excited about it because it's a cool idea. And I just think that there's so much opportunity here. Obviously these are two big names here with Kevin and Brian, and we appreciate having them on. But almost 5,000 views there, almost 1,000 on the other one. It's just a really cool concept, a really good idea that Maddie came up with, and I just want to continue to push it forward any way that I can. And so if you haven't seen these yet, I'll drop this link in the chat here. But also, I believe bridgebuilders.live will also take you directly here as well. So a nice little way to kind of share that out if you guys want to. But yeah, super, super pumped about the Bridge Builders series. More to come there because people enjoy the chats. So that's fantastic. Really excited about that. Cool. I don't have this pulled up. Let me see if I can. Hang on a second. Let me go and grab this real quick. I don't have this guy pulled up. Let me delete some stuff too. I definitely need to promote these a little earlier so it doesn't sneak up on people. I do apologize about that.
So last week I participated.
I don't know if you could hear Brian Cords right there, but he was talking for a second. So let me also do this. Let me go to just pulling up two real quick links here, and we're gonna be done with these announcements here in about 5 minutes. Okay, so the first one here is this Brian Cords video, which you guys should all go watch. He just released it this morning. Very great video, kind of again following up Bridge Builders, which again Kevin talked about it on his live stream the other day. Go check that one out, and Brian talked about it today. This is fucking awesome. Like we just I love it. I love starting conversation and getting people thinking and just having conversations. So I'm all about this, right? I love it. I left a comment down here. Appreciate you coming on Bridge Builders Insights here as well. I think the most important bit is what end client are we building for? Would love to hear and chat more about differences, types, requirements. This is a really fucking important topic that it gets talked about, but it doesn't get talked about like enough in the sense that I feel like it needs to. Everybody is building for different types of projects for different people for different reasons with different end users, different end clients, different levels of teams at the end. It is so important to understand that. There may be you may be able to use the same tool for all of that. You may not be, but regardless of that piece of information is super important whenever we talk about these types of things, whether we're building with whatever we're building with, right? So Brian does a really good job here of explaining kind of the pieces that we didn't really ask him enough about during Bridge Builders, which I'm going to take blame for that because like, there were some pieces like right in the beginning of the Bridge Builders episode, he kind of brings up like the theme and, it's got like literally code, like in VS Code, kind of like talking about what he's set up in the custom theme. And we didn't dig enough into that, but that was just kind of, short-sightedness, mainly on my part, just kind of not digging into that enough. But he does a good job, fantastic job of explaining it all. He's obviously very experienced in this area of talking about these things. He does this shit every day. So like, I love to hear this. I love to see this because this just helps us understand like what's kind of going on here, what's necessary for Brian's workflow. and then we can have a further discussion on like, should we use this for this? Should we use this for that? Like in different scenarios, and like what does it actually take? He talks about the CPT situation where him and Kevin had differing opinions on like if these should be CPTs or not. Again, even that, like I tend to go the CPT route, but there's kind of arguments for both, and it's just like we a lot of times we're trying to be absolutionists, and I don't know if that's always productive. So I just think that the more conversation, the better. Like I will literally never stop saying that. The more live video, live dialogue conversation, the better. I don't give a shit. Like we got to stop typing. Like not stop typing, but like seriously, I'm gonna die on that hill. Like these types of things, whether it's bridge builders or anybody else, having conversation, understanding workflows, asking nuanced questions is how we continue to go forward. I'm just showing my appreciation here for Brian making this video. Go check that video out. And Kevin's live stream last week as well, or 2 days ago, Tuesday as well. So yeah, go check that out. And yeah, so super excited about that. Just love keep moving it forward. Now this one, so this is an interesting one. If you are not tapped into this, I'm not going to spend too much time on this because I know I want to get you guys some actual value here. But this one is kind of interesting. Okay, this is the WordPress Media Corp's kickoff call. Now, I'm just going to talk about this at a high level. If you're not in the WP Minute, go check them out. WP Minute, if I could spell. I hate this journeys thing because as soon as I click that, it's gonna like bring up some random sidebar shit. If you're not in the WP Minute Slack group, you should be. I'm in there. It's great. But there's a lot of interesting conversations that go along in there. And one of the conversations is talking about like the WordPress Media Corps. And this is a new conversation to me and new concept to the kind of the world in general here with the WordPress stuff. There used to be like a marketing. I might get some of these details wrong. Do not sue me. Okay. There used to be like a marketing team, which is kind of funny because like the marketing doesn't always exactly make sense. But this is an open article. Like this is the Make WordPress blog. If you're not, I've talked about it a little bit. You can go into here. You can get on GitHub. You can get on the Slack, and like you can really be more of a part of the WordPress community and just at least see what's going on at the quote unquote core of it. Haha. But this is the WordPress Media Corp's kickoff call, and this ruffled some feathers because there's the new concept of the WordPress Media Corp. Matt Medeiros and I did a live stream. I can't remember. Just go to my channel. It's in the guest appearances playlist towards the bottom of the homepage. We did a thing about kind of like breaking WordPress, like one of the first episodes. I can't remember what it was, but it was they released this concept. The high level is that there needs to be like a more streamlined way of getting new information about WordPress out to the public, and there's like needs to be a conduit there of like people in WordPress media. And I'm interested in it, but like I'm not interested to the nth degree because I don't want to sit fully in the news space. I want to be more in the technical and business aspect as well because I feel like that's really where the value is for you guys. But with this thing, this is still kind of interesting to me because it all of these have underlying business topics to just talk about or underlying like literal. It's actually crazy how like psychological a lot of this stuff is and like marketing and messaging wise. This is basically a kickoff call where regardless, I'm not saying anything about anybody specifically. This is a conceptual discussion. The way that this is written here, you would not think everything else literally to this point that I've seen in the WordPress space. Everything is fantastic because it's like you can just, I talk about these fucking hallway hangouts all the time. They're fantastic. You can jump in a Zoom call with the brightest people and the people actually making decisions in WordPress, and you can just talk to them. You can raise your opinions. You can chat. You can hear what they're saying, have a conversation. Love it. Fantastic. Hope it continues. This call was for some reason like only like down to like 4 or 5 people, but it was publicly published, which I didn't really fully understand that. And some people were upset because this is extremely unclear. They thought it was going to be like a kickoff call where anybody that wanted to be a part of this could join. It was just really interesting situation to kind of see the reactions. Again, I'm not really, I could kind of see both sides of it a little bit, but I ultimately was just I like to laugh at the drama because the drama is interesting. And honestly, a lot of times I think it continues to move us forward because you can't do like stuff that if somebody does something, not somebody, if any entity does something and there is a reaction to it, like almost every reaction to it is valid. So if somebody or a group of people or whatever amount of percentage of people think that it's unclear, it is completely fucking valid and needs to be taken into account. So I love that, because then I think if the entity, if it's WordPress or anybody, thinks about that and actually takes that into consideration, then it continues to move everything forward. You need to have the conversations. You have to talk. You have to show your opinions and be authentic. If you don't do that, nobody's going to move forward for anything ever. So love it. I love it. That's why I like the drama, because the drama normally fuels discussion and discussion fuels progress. That's how I see it. So yeah, but anyway, last question that I had that was all interesting, or all like kind of culminating all of this, is that I've been talking to a lot of different people about full site editing and Gutenberg and everything like that. And I'm still using Bricks, and I love the workflow, but I do want to get into the concepts that are more core to WordPress. So I literally have a question written here that, like, should I try to do a live stream trying to figure out FSE and Gutenberg? And I would, and it's a very loaded question. You can't do it like distastefully. I would have to literally be like, listen, like a huge disclaimer. Look, I'm not a professional. Do not look at me like this. I'm literally just trying to learn this shit kind of in public, right? I think I would be kind of cool to do that, because I do think there'd be some cause for discussion there. Like, if you're doing it honestly and you're somebody that like is kind of intuitive and knowledgeable, then why wouldn't you just like why wouldn't you look into it? You know what I mean? Got a good comment here. Gutenberg sucks. If you want to go core, go with ACF blocks. I have heard of ACF blocks. I do not know exactly what that entails, but that is a good point, though. There's too many options. I mean, there's not too many options, but there's a lot of options, right? There's like Generate Press. There's Grade, which I just heard of. There is, I guess ACF blocks. Like it's super interesting. That will get you close to core. Yeah. So I don't know. I mean, I think the idea for people is that you can just install WordPress. Like the goal is that you can just install WordPress and you do a ton of different shit. And while that is a good goal, but obviously there's always caveats to the conversation and things that need to be kind of like prefaced in a way. And like when we were talking about earlier with like different clients and things like that. So I don't know. I might do it just because I think it would be an interesting conversation to have. But regardless, yeah, something to kind of consider, something to think about. And let me, while we're talking here, if you guys have any questions or anything like that, let me know. But real quick, I'm going to jump back in my comments on YouTube, and I'm going to take a screenshot of something that I looked at here. It was a comment from somebody. So I made these client portal videos. There's more coming. Trust me, they're coming. I just have so much other shit I'm doing. I had two good comments here, and let me kind of take these screenshots, and then I'll pull them up on screen, and we can talk about them. Cool. Okay. All right. So the screenshots are taken. Let me drag them into the browser here. Right there. Cool. These ones. Great. Hopefully you can see this when I share my screen. Cool. All right. Let me get rid of this. And let's talk about these here. All right. So, yeah, right there. Perfect. Okay, I know this is small. Bear with me. Okay, look, so here's the deal. First thing, again, as always, thank you guys so much for the support on the Dynamic Data series and on the Portal series, and just in general. Thank you guys for being here right now. I greatly appreciate it. I enjoy getting questions like this. Unfortunately, I have, a limited amount of time, and I do have to make money, to eat. So I can't always give you guys the best answers whatsoever. If you guys want to book a consultation call with me, the link's down below. I got to do a better job of actually promoting that too. That's an aside for right now. But I do, when I have the time and I try to answer every comment, I try to go back and I try to give like half decent fucking answers to questions. So, so this is an interesting question. There's two of them here. Both similar in the sense of like data architecture and talking about this stuff. So I thought that this would be a really cool time for us just to sit down and me just to kind of like give you an actual answer to this. I'm not sure if these two users here are going to be on the stream or not, but regardless, I'll link it up in the comment threads here when we're done. If you're here, happy to have you. Thank you. Let me know if I'm missing anything or you want specific stuff. But I thought this would be a cool thing to do. I don't know if we're going to do it all the time, but I thought it would be a cool thing to do. So the concept here that I have in mind is there's two comments from different people doing different projects, not sure if they're agencies or if they're just building for themselves, which is a huge question and nuance in and of itself. But we're going to put that to a side and we're just going to talk about like literally the question here for both of these things. I'm going to spin up a dev environment. I'm actually going to show you how I do it in grid pane too. This is a gold mine of information here. Okay. So we're going to talk about this. And if you guys have any questions as we go, I'm going to do my best because I literally just thought about this stuff. I haven't actually, I haven't specifically kind of built it here. All right. So one here is this is good stuff. Can't believe I'm hosting now. Quick question. I'm building an agricultural portal where clients follow up on the progress of their livestock, say like chicken and how many eggs a particular hen laid each day over how long they need the data. How would I go about building custom post types? I've never heard of an agriculture portal. I thought that was an incredible idea. Like this is an awesome concept here. And it was kind of out of the box, right? Like, I mean, you hear other stuff and that was awesome. So it was interesting. So then here's my answer to this question. So tough to know without the full context, but here's where I'd start based on that. The chicken would be the project for my example. The reason I say that is we're talking about a web design client portal. So you have projects, which would be basically like websites, however you want to do it. And then the chicken in this case would be like one of the CPTs. The client would probably just be a user, right? There's so many questions that you have to do. And I'm like, so many like calculations you kind of have to do in your head of like how you would go about creating this. But if you have a client in this case, that client is probably just going to be a user with a user login. You may need to create like some sort of custom post type thing as well, but I tend to not try to do that because now you have two sets of shit that you have to deal with and it's not the best. So try to just keep it as a user. Maybe there's custom fields that you can attach to user, perhaps if you really need to, but probably unnecessary like for the minimum viable product here. So you have chicken custom post type down here, right? So chickens, whatever. Custom fields would be like maybe weight, the date they were born, any other field you need to build out a profile for the chicken, okay? And it's just so funny. I don't know why I'm laughing at chicken, but something like that, okay? And then you'd have a CCT most likely for the eggs. Now, honestly, I haven't worked extensively with custom content types, but Jet Engine has something, called custom content types, and it's literally just custom post types without, the way I've heard it explained is it's without the like if you use a CCT, if you don't need to have a single page, and if the data needs to be its own type, but it's not, you want it to be like load faster. Apparently it doesn't take as much room in the database and shit like that. Like it's just a different technical way to look at it. I'll look at it too, and maybe I'll make a video on it, but just type in CCT. But I'm pretty sure best way to do this here would be to have a CCT for egg and eggs. And then you have custom fields, okay, for that eggs, because it works the same way. You can have custom fields. So you have date produced, or like date laid or whatever you want to say. You maybe have the color of the egg, the size of the egg, the weight of the egg, if it's good or bad, so status. And then those are your things right there, right? So you have chickens, okay, and then you have eggs. So every single egg is going to be a CCT, which hypothetically could be a shit ton of CCTs, like could be a shit ton of eggs. So that you probably want to have the CCT in that case. But those two things, right? The question is like, how do you manage it? How do you want to do it? If you need, the way that I'm thinking about it currently is if you have an object, would be a chicken or an egg or a project or, a team member, that I think of that kind of like as an object. I know it's a custom post type, but from object-oriented programming, that's where my mind kind of comes from. So those are objects. And then those objects have, I can't remember what they're called. Are they called field? I mean, they're obviously called fields here, but in like Java, I can't remember what they were called, like data attributes maybe. I'm not sure, but regardless, don't get the words mixed up. Like they have like literally fields or like variables or whatever, like characteristics, right? So the egg has characteristics, the chicken has characteristics. So that leads me to believe that we need to have two different objects for that. Okay, great. Well, then what do we do? Well, now we have chickens and we have eggs. So like, imagine literally you have to back up and you have to think about this in real life. You have like, I guess like like a farm, and you have like, let's say 100 chickens. So at the beginning of this, when you're entering the data, if we kind of reverse engineer it, you're gonna have to put in all those chickens. So you have chicken like 1 through 100. And that could be the title, you know what I mean? That could be just the title of the post. I mean, I'll literally just try to do this on stream here in a second, but I want to walk through it. So, so you have like 100 chickens, so like 1 through 100 chickens, right? They have your weight, they have their date born, or whatever else you need there. And then now you have the situation where like you need to track the eggs, okay? So when an egg is produced, you need to figure out, all right, well, we got this egg here. It came from chicken 1. We'll talk about that in a second, but like you need to say like, okay, what is this egg that I'm holding? What is today's date? When was it laid? Okay, that's the first field. What color is it? What size is it? Weigh it. Is it good or bad? Because in my opinion too, like maybe not every egg is good. So you might want to know that the chicken laid an egg, but it's bad. I don't know. I'm just guessing here. Okay. But you have to think about these, we'll call it like business scenario situations, and then apply it to the technology. So you have all that. And I'm looking at this egg and I'm like, okay, it came from chicken 1. Okay, so chicken to egg now is a relationship that you have to have. So you can assign and relate literally egg 1 to like chicken 1, egg 2 to chicken 1, like whatever you want, right? Because you can have multiple. So you have that relationship. But then there's also another relationship, because if these chickens belong to users, right, to the clients, then you also need to have a relationship that is like the user, John Doe, has chicken 1, 5, and 6. So there needs to be a relation there. And then from all of that related data, you can present that in a way. This is actually kind of a big project. Like I'm not gonna be able to show, like I wouldn't be able to show all this, but I'm trying to walk through that as best as I can. Just kind of give you guys an idea of what's going on there. Because this is, if you can understand that, I'm not saying understand how to do that technically, like that might take a little bit of time, but if you can understand the pseudo code, or like the pseudo logic of that, that's going to put you in such a different position as far as like actually building websites and stuff. And a lot majorly, that's what I talk about in dynamic data, is like understanding those concepts there. But yeah, that's a fantastic question there too. What CPT came first, the chicken or the egg? Yeah. And then CCT is basically its own table in the WordPress database, whereas CPTs are all use the same database. Okay, that's good to know. Yeah. So there's different pieces there, and I feel like this. If you guys have any, again, I'm not I'm not a data architecture god here. So if you guys have better ideas here, then let me know. But like I said, we can kind of go through that and talk about that a little bit, and try to produce a little bit of that if you want. I believe Richard, I believe this is you here. So I'm going to talk about the second one here. I'm not exactly sure if our first user there is in the chat. Regardless, I mean, I think this is all educational. Let's talk about this one though real quick, and then we can kind of play around with this in some actual in bricks and just in WordPress in general. So this is another really good one. Okay, and this one's a little different, but it's also another good one. So Richard here, show some love for Richard in the chat. If you're creating a listing site and you have property with all its physical attributes as well as its location, town, country, state, town, county, state, country, is it better to create them as a field in a field group inside a CPT called property with all the other details that are part of the listing, or is it better to have them as taxonomy that's a hierarchy? So one country has many towns, one state has many countries, etc. When you create a card on a listing page and you want to display the country and town, can you do it with hierarchical taxonomy? Okay, so right off the bat here, I kind of said, okay, I don't think taxonomies are the way to go. It sounds like more of a custom fields situation, everything like that. And you can obviously see here that I wanted to do this kind of as an example because I think it's a really interesting case to kind of for us all to brainstorm. And I'm happy Richard is here because there may be some pieces that I don't know and I might be making assumptions on when we start to think about this, right? So from that first one, and then now here the second reply here with more context, it's for a lodge website. So for example, I don't know how to pronounce that. Makalali, let's say M Lodge, the River Lodge, so there's a river lodge, which is a lodge. It's in a reserve, and then the reserve is in a region, which is like an area, which is in a country, right? And then the reserve has can have multiple lodges in it. And then the Great Kruger has a dozen more like game reserves in it. Each reserve has X number of lodges in it. So I've created custom fields for all those search works using Grid Builder. But I also created the same thing as taxonomy, which is double work. I'm obviously missing something. Okay, with custom fields. Okay, so so I would think I had some questions here initially, which is like, what is the scope of the areas, countries worldwide, just Africa? What do you need? Like, what do you need to present about specific countries or areas? Okay, here's where my mind goes. I always default to custom post types or / content types, but in this case, probably post types for most of this stuff. But I always default to this like object approach, right? This custom post type approach, because I'm always thinking of like, if I can manage the data in these different ways for these types of things, just at least with the boundaries of WordPress, right? Like if you're not using WordPress, obviously we're not even probably talking to you right now, but I'm not saying this is a better way. I'm not saying there isn't a better way to think about it with different platforms, but with the way that I've used WordPress, whether it's ACF or Jet Engine or Metabox or whatever, I always go to custom post types because I know that I'm going to be able to control the data. People could potentially edit the data, but it'll at least be easy for me or my team to edit the data, and I'll be able to relate CPTs to CPTs and show things based off of those. My queries get more powerful. Again, if you're confused about any of this, go to the Dynamic Data series, wpdynamicdata.co. For this project, though, in this setup, the way that I kind of start to unpack this is that you're going to have lodges, you're going to have reserves at least. So every lodge there's going to be a lodges custom post type. There's going to be a reserves custom post type, right? So let's say there's 10 reserves and there's 50 lodges. So you're going to have 10 reserves, and then the lodges, you're going to have like 50 lodges. Those two things kind of stand on their own, but they get related. There would be a relationship between lodge and reserve because there is, there's 4 lodges in this reserve. There's 10 lodges in this other reserve. You kind of start to get the idea there a little bit, right? So that's a layup there. To me, that makes total sense. Where it starts to get a little tricky, or the things that I would start to ask these questions are down here. And Richard, again, if you want to chime in at all, or I can just make some assumptions, is what's the scope of the areas and countries? Is it worldwide? Is it just Africa? Because now, if I was thinking about this, if it's just a certain country and it couldn't expand more, we're talking about things here. The lodges and the reserves are things that are like kind of, the way I process this, those are like man-made things. Like another lodge could be built next year. Another reserve could be built next year. We might have to add to those. One of them could close, right? Like we might have to edit that. When we start to get into things like countries and areas, I mean, again, I'm not saying countries couldn't spin up or go away, but like I feel like the likelihood is less. So there's a couple distinctions to think of there. It's like, am I going to put in a custom post type for every country in the world? Do I need to? You know what I mean? Like is another question. Like, do I need to there? Am I going to put in a ton of areas as custom post types? That's another question. Or you could go this taxonomy route, which I think might limit you in certain ways, but it depends on it depends on really what the goal is. So a couple comments here. It will just be Africa and primary South Africa, okay, and then may include a few other countries, and then may include a few other countries may be included later. Okay. So my next question would be, this is how I process this. Okay, so we know lodge and reserve, like we know we should do that. Okay, but then the greater Kruger region as an area, and then South Africa as a country. Do we need to create these as CPTs is our question. The first thing we could do is, so we have like reserves, and there's lodges in reserves. Do we need to relate these to regions and countries and areas, or do we need to just make fields in these lodge and reserve custom post types? As like, do we need to create like an area and a country? So think about it like this. Let's use a different example for a second, because it's very similar. Think about if you had a restaurant, okay? And you're building a website for a restaurant. And the restaurant is like a brand, right? Let's say it's, I don't know, John's Diner. And John's Diner actually has 5 locations. So if I was building a website for John's Diner, I would absolutely have a custom post type for locations or like stores or something, right? There would be a custom post type for locations. Excuse me. And then there would be the title of the location would maybe be like whatever area it's in or something like that. Whatever you called the store. Okay, it would probably be like the town name or whatever, but that's kind of insignificant. And then there would be custom fields within that custom post type. So you'd have 5 stores, and those 5 stores would have data associated directly with them, right? And some of those fields I would think would be like potentially like the hours of those stores and things like that. Like that's kind of outside the scope, not necessary for what we're talking about right now, maybe. But like it would definitely have the address, like 100%. Each location, you would have a custom field called address, and for each one, it would have its own unique address in that custom field. So what we're talking about here is almost the same exact thing. And that actually brings up a question is, I'm assuming that these reserves have addresses, and I'm assuming that these lodges have addresses. So I'm wondering, is that one way that you go about it with just like specifically the address? So that's an option. Because I mean, again, I don't know if there's like 100% a way to do it. Like that's one option. And then you could, I guess this is what you have now, like a taxonomy where you have like an area taxonomy or a region taxonomy. Then you also have another country taxonomy. I think we're starting to get a little complex, a little convoluted there if we do it that way. I think the idea, right, and correct me if I'm wrong, the idea is actually right here. In theory, regions should not change. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, because I mean, like South Africa is like one country that we're dealing with, and like South Africa has multiple regions, but they'll never really change. So like I'm thinking here, like here's a straightforward way to do this. Okay, I'm not saying it's the right way. We're still spitballing here. Straightforward way to do this is put the reserves, have a CPT called reserves, have a CPT called lodges, put all that data in there. At least in the reserves, actually just in the reserves, because you don't want to have multiple of the same data if you can avoid it, right? So in all the reserves, you're going to have the reserve is like confined, right? Like the reserve is like a reserve is probably only going to have one region. Like it's not going to span, I'm assuming, maybe. It's not going to span like multiple regions. So everything in the reserve is in one region. Therefore, all the lodges related to the reserve are also in one region. So we don't need to have like multiple things. So I would have reserve, and then one of the fields that I would have in there, as an example, would be region. And honestly, the regions are not going to change from the countries. The region and the country are always going to be together. So you could probably I feel like you could probably just like have a field that is like, again, this is minimum viable product. Not sure if it's optimal. In your reserve CPT, if you created a select field, okay, something simple, and then in that select field, the options were like Greater Kruger region, comma, South Africa, right? So that is literally what you put in there. And I'm not saying that's like the best way to do that, because I'm trying to think of other corner cases you might run into. But if that's literally where it's at. It's the area and the country all in one, right? So then you have, or you could just do region and just the region instead. But my point is, like, if it's not, the region isn't going to change from the country. So you don't necessarily need to separate them per se. Yeah. So like literally just, I mean, to answer the question straightforwardly, you could probably just put a field in there, and then the reserve would be related. The reserve would have a field called Greater Kruger region, South Africa. So you would know that, you'd be able to display that, whatever. And then based off of the fact that the lodge is one of the lodges will be related to the reserve, then you can like via that relationship, you can say, okay, this lodge is also in that region of South Africa. I don't know. I'm kind of, there is no street address for them. Okay, yeah. So then, I mean, just it's the same concept then, just without the street address piece. But I do think that would kind of like start you kind of in the right direction. Here's the next question though for you. Would be, this is kind of like the important bit because I don't know the scope of the website. To me, you need to start introducing more custom post types when you need to know more about those specific objects. So for instance, in the case that I just laid out there, you're not going to have a good place to put information about the greater Kruger region. So if you wanted to, if this website wasn't just about these reserves, like these game lodges, and you wanted to talk more about the greater Kruger region and you wanted to manage the content in a little bit more of a structured, systematic way, rather than just making like, like one-off pages on the side, then you would absolutely need a custom post type for the area. So let me give you a literal example. If you're building this website and you want to not only tell people about the lodges, but also give them like at least a landing page on all of the regions and give me an idea of how many regions we're talking here, then you should probably make the region a custom post type, and then you should probably relate that to the reserves. But if you're not going to do that, then I don't think it's entirely necessary, because there's other ways that you can kind of like group and filter them without having to go through the extra step of like creating another custom post type and creating the relations and such. This is why like I'm trying to think of it. To me, it's more of a question of like, what's the holistic website doing? Like, what's the holistic website like? How much information do we have outside the scope of just the lodges would be my next question. Yeah, because if it was like worldwide and Africa and stuff like that, it's like, well, one, what does our list look like if we're going to do a field? Then does it make sense to have custom post types if we're going to, depending how deep we go. I'm trying to come back to the main question though of the taxonomy piece, and I'm not seeing a reason to use a taxonomy here for that specifically, because I think the idea would be one country has many towns. I'm not seeing and again, I'm not the authority on this, so I'm not the end all be all on this. If somebody has a better idea, let me know. But I'm not seeing like an 100% reason to have like use a taxonomy in this case. I don't think there's I don't think there's something there that would tell me that as an example. I had both of them as field types. I had them both as field types in a CPT and a taxonomy, and I think you're right. It was just double work for no reason. I mean, there might be a reason to do that like sometime, but I don't. You're definitely right though. It is double work unless you did some sort of automation where like you were able to like manage those lists and sync those lists like bi-directionally or something. But most of the time, that's not normally what I see. I see like a taxonomy inherently. There's might be workarounds, but like it doesn't have like a lot of information. It's not like an object. It's literally, for lack of a better term, like a category most of the time, right? So in this case, I don't know if that's the reason, but I think you really need to answer the question of, okay, I see this website in my head. In this website, what are the things that people are going to click on? What are the pages that they're going to see in terms of the area stuff? How deep do you want to go into the areas and the areas / regions / country? Like, do you need to talk about that sort of stuff? It sounds like the country part is out of the question. If you're only going to have maybe like one like country of South Africa, maybe a couple others or something, but you're not like going deep. Like if you were going to try to make like the lodge thing of the entire world, like maybe you need to like express to people, it's like, okay, like South Africa is different than like Kenya, which is different than like Egypt, like, and like talk about that stuff. Doesn't sound like you're going that deep. The regions, though, if you want to talk more about that, and if the regions have to have more things, like for instance, if you want to start talking about like the population of the greater Kruger region, if you want to talk about like the climate, the I don't know the best season. Like I don't the game. Are you talking about the game at all? Like, are you talking about like what's in these I don't know if we're way outside the scope of what this is. Okay, so if you want to talk about the game at all, that's another question. Which that would I don't know. I feel like that would ultimately almost definitely be another custom post type. But I'm gonna leave that out for now. What do we got? People normally know which regions they want to go to. Okay, well in that case, honestly, then I feel like kind of if you're not going to add that more stuff there, then I feel like literally just having it as a field in the reserve, and then relating the reserves to the lodges, and then being able to kind of show everything like that. I think that would kind of be, I think that kind of be the way to go. I could pull it up on the screen and kind of try it here. Yeah, and we kind of talked about all this. Okay, all right. So let's try it then. Why not? Let's go to let me show you this too as a quick thing here with grid pane, because this is how I run my stuff. So I have several servers. We talk about that in a different video. I put every client on a different server. I have a server called development where I have like all my development things on here. At a super high level, maybe some of you guys care about this, some of you don't. I'm going to talk about it anyway real quick. I have a domain name, mjsdev.net, for just like, the development stuff, these tutorials, stuff like that, okay? So I have that. I have some blueprints. Everyone is, prefixed with BP dash whatever. So each one of these are all different sites, like they're active WordPress installs, like, and they're active links too. I mean, you could just go to these and you could see like what's there. But these are my blueprints. So this one is Bricks, Jet Engine, and ACF as like the main things that are installed on there. This is Bricks, Jet Engine, and Bricks and Jet Engine. This one's just clean Bricks. This one's clean Core. This one is Elementor and Jet Engine. This one is just Elementor. And then this is, I think this is literally like what I was using. This was like a demo. Okay, so this one's a demo, right? So like if it's BP, then it's a blueprint. If it's demo, then it's the demo that I was that I've started and used. I'm just telling you my naming scheme and everything like that. The reason I'm bringing this up is because I know at InstaWP, Local, the WordPress Studio, these are all like poppin' things right now, like for development stuff. And for me, I use grid pane on every single website that I build. So I just decided I'm just going to create my own little dev center, we'll call it, within grid pane. I'm gonna give more content on grid pane. I'm gonna make more content on grid pane because I love what Patrick Gallagher is doing. We talk pretty often, and I love it. So look forward to that. But I wanted to give you the concept here, and I wanted to kind of show you. I don't know if I'm actually going to do it here because it's going to take a couple minutes, and then it's going to be kind of annoying with the licenses and stuff. But I'm going to give you an idea on how I run through this here. I'm going to start this, then I'm going to look at that question in the comments there. I appreciate you guys. Let me see here. So like, okay, for instance, if I wanted to right now, what I would probably do is I would do like Bricks, Jet Engine, and ACSS. So this is like something that I would want to clone basically, and I could do it right here. So I click into it, I come over to clone, and then I say like new site clone URL, and I would say like demo lodge dot mjsdev.net. Okay, so what I'm doing here is again just my prefixing. I'm giving a little bit of an identifier, and then I'm putting as a subdomain off of my mjsdev.net. So I have created, if you guys have ever used Cloudways, they used to do this where you could just like spin up a new thing and it automatically have a subdomain. GridPane is getting that, but in my mind, like this is fine for what I do because I already have this. It works fine. So I have this domain. Everything is ran through and integrated via Cloudflare and everything. I have a new site URL, so I just, like I said, I put the little subdomain on there, and then I would just select the server and that I want to put it on, which in my case would just be my development server, and then I would migrate. I would just migrate it. So all it would do is it would take this blueprint and it would spin up a new site with this new domain name, and everything will be good because it's, like I said, it's passing through Cloudflare. It's all integrated. It spins it up a couple minutes, and then boom, I have like a brand new site that I can just jump onto. It's got this new domain name and everything like that. For the purposes of what we're doing here, I think I'm actually going to just go to a different one though that I already have spun up, because demo live bricks. Let me see if that one is good. Actually, you know what? We'll just do it like that. we'll do it like that, and then I'll answer some questions, and we'll pop back into here. I'm just thinking because when you change the domain name and shit, you have to like put the license keys back in, and it's just it's like annoying sometimes, but it shouldn't be too much of a problem. There's only like 3 things on here, and I didn't mean to click what I just clicked here, so apologies. I know you guys can't see anything right now. Let me do this on my end here real quick. We'll talk about the chat. We'll get it going here. So I'm gonna go demo. I'm gonna go demo lodge, and I'm gonna say mjsdev.net, and we're gonna put it on our development server, demo-lodge. I could probably bring it back here for a sec. Demo-lodge.mjsdev.net. Okay, migrate, and then so we have all these questions here. I'll show you this too. So like database is like how do we want to do the rewrites? I could use WPCIL, but I don't CLI, but I don't do that right now. So we do that. System user, you can say like pick a system user or whatever. You can say use the original one. You can auto create a new one. Do whatever you want there. SMTP, so like in our case we use SendGrid, which is also integrated here, so you automatically get your SendGrid thing popped right through there. Your Cloudflare DNS, which I don't know if any of this stuff like shows up on the stream. I don't think it does now. But we're good there. And then this is another cool feature here. So you can have like local backups, right? If you want to do like, you can match the source settings. I normally do it like local every day, I think. And then like remote backups for demo stuff. Like it's obviously not important. I'm probably just going to waste space. So it's whatever. But yeah, so then we migrate and we clone it, and then boom, it starts its thing, and it goes, and it's great. So we'll come back to that in a second because that is going to take a couple minutes. So yeah, I'll let you know. I'll keep you updated on the progress there. Let's talk about some of these questions here. Wondering if there's a case to set countries as a taxonomy. If there are 54 countries in South Africa, then perhaps taxonomy, and then each region can get tagged with the country taxonomy. Get tagged with the country taxonomy. Fair. I would say fair, but here's the thing though. The thing about taxonomies is there's probably a real specific piece to this. Well, here's the specific piece. The specific piece is like out of the box, taxonomies very nicely integrate with archive pages. So for instance, if you wanted to have a page like an archive, and you were going to use an archive, well, I'm saying pages, I mean archive templates. If you wanted to have an archive template that said every reserve in this country of South Africa, that would be potentially a reason to use that. That being said, you can also do that with custom fields. Like you could just create a page if you wanted to, or a template or whatever. And the query on that screen, we'll call it, could be query all of the lodges or reserves that are that have the custom fields set to this region or this country, depending on how you lay it out, right? So I don't know. I don't think there's one way to solve this issue, but I mean that is another option. Seems like. I think that is what I may do. Just have countries and regions as hierarchical taxonomies. Yeah, I mean, I feel like you could go that right. In my honest opinion, I'm not sure if I would do regions as a tax too, because then you have to set up relationships between countries and tax as a region tax. But yeah, you'd have to do that though, because like a region can only be a part of one country. So that's the thing of like, you have to create that link somehow, whether it's literally together, like in a field or something, or it's just its own taxonomy, which again might be kind of like weird. I think you might be able to relate them somehow, but I don't know if that would be. Perhaps regions as a CPT, reserve as a CPT, and then regions can be tagged with the country tax, and then region CPT can be related to reserves and other objects. Regions as a CPT, reserve as CPT, and then regions can be tagged with a country tax, and then region CPT can be related to regions. Yeah. I think that makes sense. Again, I think honestly some of it comes down to how you want to display the data. So I mean, if you have an idea, or even I mean, even if you have a live site or whatever, I mean, I'll pull it up. But if you have any of the kind of the any of the like the layout or the concepts of it, I think that would be kind of interesting to chat about. But yeah, I mean, as soon as this thing's done, I think it's almost done. I think it's writing the SSL here currently on my end, and then we can kind of jump in here and just kind of play around. We could probably talk about the egg one too, perhaps. I don't know. But yeah, this is great. I think this is a really good thought exercise. I mean, regardless, all these questions and all these different projects are never going to be they're never going to be the same. There's definitely different ways to do things. You could always restructure your data later. It's just nice to kind of think about it a little bit more in the beginning, and then you can hopefully avoid like at least annoyances later down the line. I'm trying to think about the tax stuff though. There's just so many options. There's so many options to have just like a field rather than a taxonomy. I'm trying to think what it would afford you. Because you're obviously going to have a single for a reserve, and then you're going to have a single for a lodge. I wish I had a whiteboard. I'd love to like write this down. I don't have a light board or anything like and I don't want to, or even something I could write on the computer with. I think we're good here, actually. Let me pull this up. Where are we at? Demo Lodge, right there. Cool. We're spinning up here. I know you can't see it right now. If it would ever load, that'd be great. Dope. All right, so let me see if there's any. Let me just see real quick on the licenses stuff. I think we're going to be all right, actually, for now. If we have to change it, I'll change it. Okay, so we're in here, right? So we're in here. This fresh install, just kind of giving you that the full culmination of that. We'll say like demo lodge. Cool. Okay. Fantastic. Great. Okay. So now we have this, right? Nice online whiteboard. Yeah, I need an online whiteboard. Oh well, I mean, I guess I could do that, but I just don't. I don't know. I'm not. I don't know if you guys have ever seen what's his name? Pirate Software Thor, but like I think that dude is writing with his mouse. Dude is amazing. I don't have the talent for that. But anyway, okay. So let's talk about this here. Let's just kind of go crazy through this. And honestly, you've obviously been working on this project, Richard, so I'm probably not telling you anything you don't know as far as like the setup and everything like that. But this is Jet Engine. I'm not sure if you're using ACF or another one here, but just real quick, just for the heck of it, you know, we could spend maybe like 15, 20 or so, just kind of like going through some of this. Let's just dive through here like super fast. So I would say we're definitely going to need reserve. So reserve, and then I like to go reserves personally. Actually, reserves and reserves. Like definitely down here, I like to do this so we can automatically have a template page or template archive template for /reserves. That's the way I like to do it. Again, I talk about a lot of this in the dynamic data series, but quickly on that. Advanced settings down here. This is Jet Engine again, if we're not familiar. Down here, a reserve. I don't know. Is there like a... It's not a farm, obviously, but is it like a building or like an area, or... This isn't super important, but just so I don't... Oh, wait, this is a good one. I know that's like multi-site or something, but that's fine. And then meta fields. So what kind of reserves will we need to have? What are we building today? Brendan O'Connell, the GOAT. We are building, quick recap here. We are building this guy right here. Richard is in the chat, left a great comment. We're building a website for lodges and reserves. So like you have there's regions specifically in like South Africa. Those regions have reserves. Those reserves have lodges. And we're talking about kind of like taxonomies versus custom fields and how we'd lay out all the architecture and stuff. We did like probably like a half an hour of just like discussion on it. So now I'm just in here building live, which is dangerous because I don't know what the hell I'm doing. So yeah, so the question would be right off the rip would be like, you know, kind of for reserve, like, is there any information that you need? I would assume there's probably a ton of information that you would care about with reserves. I can't think of anything kind of like off the top of my head. If you got anything, Richard, throw in the chat. But yeah, we got reserves there, and let's go to another custom post type. Let's just get this stuff kind of squared away here so we can keep moving. We'll say lodges, and I have OCD, so we're gonna put the single in there. Good. Also, that's a thing that nobody knows about. If you just type in the word lodge and then just tab through all that shit, it just automatically puts it in as lodge. So that's on Jet Engine, so that's something. And then for this, I'll say like, is there like a house? Come on. I know there's like a home or something. There you go. So that would be a lodge title. We don't need any of that. We could put featured image in here. We're not going crazy today though. So there's that. All right, so we have our post type. Those two are easy. Our next questions are really just like, what do we want to experiment with first here? Which one of these do I think was probably the which one do I think was probably the best thing? I do like Burner's idea here as an idea, perhaps regions as CPTs as well. The question is, how many regions are there? Like I would need to know that. Like, are you gonna add regions? You know, not 100% sure there. Reserves, let's add one. I don't know how to spell this reserve. Makalale. Makalale. Also, that's another random thing, right? Is like is kind of silly, but does every single one of these end in the word reserve? Just as a random aside, like, are you going to put reserve in every single one of these? I feel like probably you would actually write that, because I feel like if you're thinking about like Google on a map, you probably want to, you know, do the same, like whatever it is. So I don't know, just another small little thing there. But then the other question is like for lodges, right? So we have, let's do it like this, because I don't know the answer to this question. So let's do like one. Let's do, you said there was 4, so let's do 2, and then we'll just do 3 here. Am I typing reserve? God damn it. Lodge 3. Let's come back to lodges because I think I fucked that up. Yep, I did. Let's say lodge. I'm gonna do that. So we go 1, 2, and 3. Let's do just one more just for fun. All right, so now we have 4 lodges. We have our main reserve. If we go to Jet Engine and we go to relations, we have to build a relation. So I would say reserves to lodges. And I would say reserves. And I would say lodges. And okay, so this is a question. So is it 1-to-1, 1-to-many, or many-to-many? So one reserve can have 1 lodge. No. One reserve can have many lodges. Many lodges can have many reserves. I think it's 1-to-many. I always get tripped up on this, but I think it's 1-to-many, right? Because one reserve can have many lodges. If I'm understanding that correctly. But you can't have like many lodges having like, or I'm sorry, many lodges. You can't have the other way. Like you can't have like one lodge have many reserves, right? So I'm pretty sure that's right. And then I don't really care too much about any of this. Actually, these labels really get kind of fucking confusing, but we'll come back to that. We'll just add this. What do we got here? Probably, is this for the, they would all end in reserve. Okay, well, in that, if they all end in reserve, then you could probably like possibly leave out like the reserve thing too, and then just dynamically kind of add that in just as a random thing. So you're not seeing the reserve, I think like the less typing and the less repetitiveness that you need. So that would be an idea. It's just a random thing. Probably around 15. Was that, what did I ask? Regions? How many regions there are? Oh, there's only 50. Is that right? Only 15 regions? Yeah. So, I don't know. We can kind of think of that. That is 1-to-many. Cool. Dope. Awesome. Okay, so we're good there. Let's update that again. So now what we have, again, I don't know if you guys are using Jet Engine or not, but if we go to like reserves now, or actually, yeah, if we go to reserves, forget this field up here. I screwed that up. We can take that out. But like, so this is it, right? So it's like we have a reserve, right? And then you could do this on the front. You could create this on the front end too. I'm not sure if like who needs to manage this or whatever, but just on the back end, like you have the reserve. So then you connect the lodges to the reserve. Also, I need to say this actually. I go watch the dynamic data series, specifically the one that's with relationships, if you want to know how to do it in ACF, because it is different in ACF and I actually don't really like it. um you have to like put the relationship in a field group and attach it to one post versus the way that Jet Engine does it, where like you're it's a relationship. It's obviously going to um it's obviously going to affect two different things, two different post types. So it's just a different workflow. It's kind of cool that you can do it the other way in ACF, but my point is there's an extra step to make it bi-directional. Um, because let me show you. Okay, let me show you an example because I didn't show this in the tutorial. Okay, so we got the lodge one here, right? And we have the reserve. So when we come in here and we say connect lodge, we have to select our lodges. So we select the one, we connect it, and then we update it, right? So then over here on lodge one, right? We just made a connection here, right? So we're not gonna connect this right now. Let's reload. So now it's already there. That's like what I would call a bidirectional relationship, because if I go in here right now and I disconnect this, then it will also remove it from here. I like that because I feel like there's very little way to screw that up. So I'm just saying in ACF, the workflow is different. You're kind of creating it as more of like a relationship field rather than like a separate relationship situation. And yeah, it's just kind of different. So, and also I'll show you this too. I don't know if I'm telling you guys stuff you don't know. You already know. Sorry if I am. But like, so this is another cool thing is like you could go to the lodge too, and you could say connect reserve, and then you say currently the only reserve in there, and you press update, and then you come over to the reserve now, right, where we only have one, we reload, and now we have both. So I just love that. I think that's probably one of the best setups I've seen. I wish I could add more than one at a time. That kind of sucks. Probably do it programmatically, but different task for a different day. Okay, so yeah, so now literally on the back end we have our reserve and we have our four lodges that are related to our reserve, and they're both CPTs. So in essence, if we go over to templates and we go to add new, also these couple things in here I just have as my this is again from the blueprint, so that is what that is. If we come in here and we say like let's just do like, I don't know how deep you guys want to go, but I got some time. We can play around a little bit. So I would probably start with Richard. You gotta help me, man. I'm doing your project for you. Like depending on what you want to see here, like archive. If you want to have, okay, so here's what I would think. If you want to have a page, I gotta stop saying page. If you want to have a screen, we'll call it, okay, where somebody can click on like lodges and see all the lodges. You probably don't want that. I would have to assume. Maybe. I don't know. If you want a screen that says reserves, then you're definitely going to need this, right? So you're going to need archive reserves. Did I spell that right? Yeah. And then you're going to need to publish this. Fuck, I hit the wrong thing here. Archive reserves. Again, this is bricks. If you're using a different builder, sorry, but the concepts are the same. Edit with bricks. And then now we would have, something like this. I don't know. I could use frames if I wanted to actually here. Might be a little easier. It's you know what, I'm tired of my stuff looking like complete trash, so I'm just going to throw in a quick frame if it's in here, which I don't know if it's going to be. Load, damn it, I think I have to redo the thing. Okay, real quick, hang on, because I'd rather look half decent in like 2 seconds rather than me messing around with this. Let me do that real quick. I know you can't see this. Just reactivating some licenses. Save, cool, reload this. Or save and then reload this. Okay, let's see here. So we got templates and frames. Please load frames. There we go. Okay, cool. All right, so I guess we'll import these, and we'll say, this doesn't need to be crazy, but just like a simple. Where's the simple hero? Where's the simple hero, Kevin? I don't know. This doesn't matter. This one's fine. Yeah, it always does this. See, like you click that button, and then it does that, and then you have to go to theme styles, and you have to change this back to global. I don't understand. It's not a frames thing. I don't think it's just a weird thing or whatever. All right, so here's how I would do this. All right, so this is our archive template, right? Now, this is our archive template. We're going to set the conditions for it, but this is specifically for you. Well, I mean, you could. Here's the part. Like, you could make an archive template that's the same for every single one, right? Like, you could make lodges the same. You could make reserves the same. You could make regions the same, where it all looks the same. It presents the same, but the querying is different, and then the dynamic data is different. But I feel like that is not how the real world operates. I feel like you have to have multiple archive templates for multiple things. But maybe I'm doing that wrong. I don't know. Again, I'm just showing you guys what I do. So don't sue me. So like archive title would be what we got here. So that'll show up on our front end here when we do this. If I go to settings here and I go to template settings, we have to set our conditions. There is a weird brick setting where it kind of shows you, somebody actually just asked me to do this too, like go over the brick settings. I don't know what every single one is. I just know the ones that are annoying. This one is weird. So like disable default templates. Like I appreciate what that's trying to do, but just let me I turn it off. Just let me do the conditions for the shit that I want to do. So what we're building is the archive template specifically for reserves. That's what we're building, right? So we want to come in here and we want to say archive, and we want to say for what post type? Well, we want to say post type and for reserves. Okay. So that means that this is only going to show up when we do that, right? All right, so let's come over to here and let's just say our domain / reserves. Booyah. Now I like having that as the archive title, because if I change this at any point, then it would automatically change. Personal preference. You can just type it in there if you want, I guess. All right, damn, we're gonna need to find a good card, huh? A good card section. Did he name these? Just no. Let's just say section then, I guess. What kind of sections do y'all like? How many, give me some more numbers. How many, roughly how many, reserves are there? What'd you say? I have an archive page for each region. Okay, wait a minute. I have an archive page for each region, which has all the lodges in that region. Then each lodge card has a region, reserve, price, and validity. Okay, wait a second. We gotta slow down here. Also, and also, Evan, that's a great point. Did they? I thought they started doing that, or they were gonna start doing that, or maybe that's a add-on that does that. I can't remember. I thought for sure there was. Oh, maybe it's a. Is that an AT thing? It might be. I have no idea. Richard, tell me about this too. I'm getting really invested in this at this point. Are these people booking these lodges too on this website, or are they just looking at them? Oh, they used to be cached. And 100 plus game reserves in South Africa. I'm gonna need to start writing this down. I feel like I'm doing this. I wish my client websites were this fun to do. Maybe I would want to do client work more. So excellent. We got. Let's start from the top. We got countries. We got regions. We have, I know I'm just writing this on paper here, but we got countries, we got regions. We have reserves. I'm trying to go down the line. And then we have lodges. All right. So we said 15 regions. We said reserves, like 100 plus. And that's just in South Africa. Probably they will inquire off the website, not book online yet anyway. Okay. So then you're going to have a link in the lodges for that. Obviously, you probably already have that custom field for booking link for each lodge. So you're not doing anything then with dates or anything like that. I would assume you're probably you're just displaying everything, and then they can be like kind of like a here's what you can look at. It's kind of like a display for all of the lodges, the reserves, and everything, and then they go to another website to actually book. Cool. Okay, so 15 lodges, 100 reserves. So how many lodges then? Like 500, 1,000? I don't know. It's honestly not really that pertinent. This is a really cool frame possibly for this though. This content section Foxtrot. I don't know if that would. I don't know. I've never used it, but it would be very interesting to see like if you could just like kind of do more in Africa, like just in specific. That's actually a really cool one, but it has addresses though, so I don't know if that would exactly work here. I don't know. What do we want to do here, boys? Where's the half decent card that I can just continue to play around with this on? I mean, I'm assuming every lodge. I don't know. It really doesn't matter, does it? I'm assuming every lodge would be. I'm sorry. Every reserve would have an image, right? And whatever, like an image and name, and probably a region, I would assume. I don't know. Why don't we just do this? We don't need any of this stuff though. Let's see here. I don't know. We'll just say find your reserve. I'm trying to stick to the script here. It's not going well. That's cool. Whatever. I don't care. All right, so we're going to leave those in there for now. Obviously, I would probably make these the featured image. Actually, I'm going to get rid of this shit too. We're not renaming classes. I'm not shipping this. I also am terrified of using frames incorrectly. So I would change this to dynamic data. It'd probably be the featured image. This would be the post title. Which would be the name essentially of the reserve. And down here, honestly, I would probably put this is an interesting one. So I would probably say this would be the region. So we're gonna need to figure out how to do that. So I'm just gonna say like region. Okay, hopefully you guys are getting some out of this if you are not currently working on a lodge and reserve website, but yeah, sorry if not. And then I'm gonna go to not that. I'm gonna go to the card itself, and I'm gonna query loop the card posts, reserves, and we'll just say in like whatever ascending. And I'd say -1 probably because I want to put all of them on here, and then go like this. And I love seeing actual data. Aha, that's beautiful. So let's go to our reserves. I'm gonna say I don't know. I'm gonna need more names for reserves. I'm gonna say reserve 1, whatever. Reserve ABC. We'll say XYZ. And publish. And I'm not gonna do too much more data here. I just want to I'm invested. ABC. Cool. Come back over to reserves. Boom. All right, so we have a couple more now. That's sick. There's probably a good way to do. I don't know. I guess this must be before clickable parent, perhaps. So I don't know. But just for the heck of this here, if we continue to go down this rabbit hole, I'm just gonna put a link just on the. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to put a link right on this heading here real quick just to the dynamic data, and it would be the post link. So when you click on obviously you'd want to do probably clickable parent situation and all that sort of stuff, but not in this frame, and I'm not dealing with that right now. So when you click on the actual heading, it's going to go to the single of the reserve. So then you go to the reserve. So now you're in reserves, Macaulay Reserve. Cool. And then the question would be there is like you're on a reserve single at that point. And on the reserve single, you're probably going to want to have information about the reserve, but also all of the lodges in that reserve, I would assume, right? So let's play around with that. We got some comments here. Appreciate you guys being here. Appreciate you guys all the engagement here. It's awesome. There's a good advanced tutorial on setting up that map frame in the inner circle. Ooh, have to check that out. Good call, Brendan. Question for all here. Any Google My Maps alternatives for service area maps? Ooh, My Maps embeds don't fit the aesthetic of most designs, but it's common. It's a common request. Open Street Maps, Open Layers. I think Open Layers lets you customize it before exporting. It's kind of cool. Snazzy Maps. Yeah, I've heard of Snazzy Maps. Full top bar. Yeah, honestly that My Maps thing is like really cool, but yeah, it's like quite annoying that it's kind of like you have to do it in that sort of way. I'm trying to think if I've ever done it a different way. I've absolutely cheated before and just took a screenshot of a map and then just put like just drew the boundaries. That is that's a little wild. But yeah, I feel like there's a really good way to do it. I'm trying to think of any examples. I feel like I have seen one before. Can't think of one off the top of my head though. Brendan, you're the man for that. Okay. So why don't we continue? Is there anything specific? Is there any like other questions that we're still not doing this? Because I feel like I'm just kind of creating this, which I'm fine with. I don't care. This is kind of cool. I love this part of the project personally. Literally hate designing shit. Okay, so real quick, let's do. I think this is kind of a cool feature, but we need to figure out how we would actually do this. What did we say before? We said a CPT or we said a taxonomy. Or we said a CPT for regions. And there's only 15 regions. I don't know. Just for all those that are still confused, though, while I think about that, answer that question, I'm just going to keep playing around here. So I'm going to go add new, and I'm going to say single reserves. Single reserves, whatever. Single publish. Edit with bricks. Cool. Let's throw another frame in there. Hero. Same one is great. Yeah, why not? Right here, this would be, because we're on a single now, this would be our post title. I'm just going to say the reserve name up there. And also, this is probably what I would do, is I'd probably go like this, perhaps. If they literally are all going to say reserve after them, I might actually just go like this. And just do that. I love that you can do that in bricks so easily. You can put the variables inside the string, or just inside like the actual text thing, because you could not do that in Elementor. That was a pain in the ass. And then I don't know how you would lay this out. It'd probably be just like, you'd probably want like a content thing or something with cards. You'd probably honestly want like, what the heck? Are these not called, what are they called? Feature sections? They might be called feature sections. I feel like, had an idea for one. I feel like this maybe right here. It's articles though. Feature section, maybe. Does it matter? Doesn't matter. Also, I don't think I have the, you know what? I don't know why the hell. I think I turned off, for some reason, like an idiot when I set these up. I think I turned off the, neutral. What the hell is wrong with me? And I cannot wait for, I turned off primary too. I can't wait for primary to be the one, so we don't have to deal with action anymore. Not like I really actually care. It's just like I just totally messed up now. But I do think primary makes more sense. Okay, back to this. I don't think I set the template up. Where are we at here? Archive reserves, single reserves. Okay, back into settings, templates, conditions, post type. It's weird that it doesn't say single in that lists, but is what it is. Reserve, cool. This. And now this is going to be an interesting one down here. So we should have something cool, good enough. Why is this like this? Damn. There's definitely an issue with my, would that be the primary color? It's definitely an issue there. Let's look at the comments here real quick. Yes, a reserve page will have some basic info about the reserve with what you can expect. And then a card list of all lodges. Yeah, so that's what I would say is this. Did I put that? Damn, Bricks always puts it in the damn middle of. Get out of there. Thank you. What is this color? Why is this? Honestly, I don't care enough to actually mess around with that right now. So we'll just make it whatever so you can see it. A couple of them, not sure, been a while. Sorry. WP Go Maps. Interesting. Oh wow, WP Go Maps is on AppSumo. Hey, everybody, go check out WP Go Maps on AppSumo. Okay, so now we're on our single, right? So we're on our single. You probably honestly again, I'm just spitballing here, right? So I don't know where we're at progress wise or experience wise or whatever, but I would try to make as much dynamic data as possible. I would say if you had something like this that you were going for, a simple description like this should probably be a custom field, right? In your so we went into here, post types, reserves, and we'd say right here, we'll say short description, if I could tell, if I could spell, short description, whatever. I mean, you could make it basic text. There's probably a real reason to not make it WYSIWYG. I have no idea. We'll just make it a text area for now. But yeah, short description, update post, come over to reserves, come to our first one here, and just pop in some I don't know. This reserve is so great that I don't know. Obviously, it's terrible. I don't know. But this reserve is great. And then we'd come over to our single for our reserves. We'd come back over here. We'd get rid of all this. We'd go dynamic data. And then I think we're going to actually have to save and refresh this because it's not going to know that field is there. Lead, dynamic data, slide, short description, boom. And then back out here to our reserves, come into our reserve. This reserve is so great. So, I mean, I would just try to leverage that as much as possible. Try to, again, don't know if I'm telling you anything you don't know. But let's try to play around with this because this is really actually, now that we're deep into this, this is what this is where, so this is an example of this is probably a weird SEO play, but lodges at post title, forget about the spacing, but something like this, because you probably have other content on this page, and then you'd be lodges at, I would definitely use, obviously you could maybe I don't know, that's probably a slight SEO bump or something, I don't know, just more words specifically that are related to it. And then these would all be our cards for our lodges. So let's actually try to do that. I'm gonna we might get a little dicey here. So let's get rid of this, come back into here. Obviously this would be our image. This would be our post title. This would be something else. This would link out to our, you'd probably want to go directly to the post, obviously. So this would be dynamic data, and this would go to your post link. Now you're going to be kind of confused if you're new to this, because explore, again, this is probably one that I would say maybe calls for a cool title. So, all right. So if you're, hopefully nobody's lost. I think you guys are all pros here. But let's look at this. So we have our single, right, for our single reserve. Explore the lodges at and then explore. We're going to fix this, right, because this isn't what we want right now. We have to come in here, back to our single. We have to go to our feature card. We have to loop this, right? And then we have to say our query loop. And we're going to say, so here's the thing. I'm going to click this button, all right, this relationship thing. And it's different. I'm sure it's different in ACF, but this is the thing with Jet Engine is it's very interesting to kind of like see how this goes. So there's a couple different ways that I'm just going to show you just based on what I know. Okay. So there's this, right? So all I did there was I clicked this relationship that I built in Jet Engine. And then if that relationship is built, then it shows Jet Engine relation reserves to lodges. I have definitely had this situation occur though, where this doesn't really work the way I want it to, depending on where you're at, what you're doing. And I have to go to the query builder. The query builder has saved my ass more times than I can count. And it is extremely robust. Okay. The Jet Engine query builder. If you guys haven't seen that, I go reasonably in depth in, at least to, like the beginner intermediate level in that dynamic data thing. But it's amazing. There is so much that you can do with that. And obviously you could do it here too in the Bricks query builder, but you have to kind of like, the UI is more built out, I feel like, over there. So yeah. And the other thing too, this is the other thing too, is like when you go to relation, I think I've even heard Kevin talk about this and he doesn't use Jet Engine. When you go to now like where are my controls? You know what I mean? Where are my controls for all the other shit here? Where did all this go? Like obviously not even the meta query and stuff, but like where did my order by go when I did the thing? I don't know. I can't speak to the other ones, but I'm saying with Jet Engine that's kind of annoying, and that's why I tend to use the query builder, and I will show you the difference. Because now, what if I wanted this to be in a different order, not like by descending date or whatever? What if I wanted to go alphabetical or something? So I don't know. Just I'll show you that real quick too, but yeah. So we have this, and then we'd be like, oh, we want to go to this lodge. So now we're on the lodges page for specifically that lodge, right? And then we could talk about that. You could get pretty crazy. Obviously, you could go to this lodge on this page. You could have like related lodges and do like a nice query for that. I love dynamic data so much. I use MetaBox, similar methods. Sometimes you have to put a relationship loop inside a parent loop to make it work, depending on what you're trying to achieve. You see, that's the thing for me though, is why people tend to shit on Jet Engine for random reasons. And this is, I got to show you guys that then. Okay, so here's what we got, right? So you're saying like inside a parent loop and stuff like that, which totally makes sense. But why don't we look at the alternative, at least with the way that like Jet Engine works. So if we go over to Crock-a-Block, we go down to Query Builder, and we say add a new query, and we'll say like all lodges in current reserve, and then we do a post query, we do a post type. So we're trying to query lodges. Also, this is sick as hell right here. Okay, click this preview button. I show this in the thing. Look at this. You can like see. I know my head's in the way. I got no way to move that. Nope, not that. I'll go here real quick. I know you guys probably can't see that still, but look at all these. This is literally pulling directly from the database and showing you what you're looking at, right? If this is selling you on Crock-a-Block, make sure you use my affiliate link in the description and go get their birthday sale. But like this is right here, this is like showing you everything that like you're querying, right? So and it shows the result count. So there's 4 lodges, right, that are being queried in the current like reserve or whatever. And if you went, and you did a different, or that's just all the lodges because we didn't do any other meta queries or anything like that. But then like 13, if you just did like post query, it's going to show you like all the random shit that's in here. Like I think it'll even include pages and stuff like that. If you did reserves, it'll show you 3 because there's 3 reserves. I don't know, just kind of cool stuff there. So if you go to lodges, right, this is the alternative from having to do like in nested or anything else. Let me see here. That's nice. You can actually see the data. Yeah, pretty dope. You can see all that with a var dump. I've never used that. I have no idea where to use that. That's kind of cool. I'm going to need educated on where I would do that though. That sounds kind of interesting. But if you aren't using var dump, then there's that. And if I come down to post in page, so like post in, they have like all these macros that have been, again, saved my ass like countless amount of times. And I'm pretty sure related items is the one that I normally go with. And I say reserves to lodges. I say, what do I want to show? I want to show the child object because reserve is the parent, lodges is the child. And then from normally, depending on what you're doing here, normally current object ID is the way to go because that's like you're gonna be on the page. And just so we know that this is working, what I'm gonna do is this is the whole reason everything we just did there was pretty much the same exact thing as clicking that one jet engine relation thing. But what I was saying was we can't do the order by and everything. So so the order by would be like, let's say we wanted it to be by, I'd say we want to be a random order because honestly, in this case, I don't know if you'd want to like have one, thing be higher than the other. Also, I don't know why that's still an option if random is selected, but let's update this query. Okay. And then let's go back to our single here and let's just save it real quick and refresh it. And if we go into our card, our query loop, we can see that it's querying them properly, but it's doing like, the regular ordering. Okay. And then if we come into jet engine query builder and the UI here is also terrible. This confused the shit out of me when I started using bricks. Like, where do I pick the query? Why isn't it right there? Well, it's actually right here. It's probably because jet engine, the way they had to implement it. But then if you say all lodges in current reserve, like we just did, now we have like 2, 1, 4, 3, and I think this is random every time you load it. Maybe. Yeah, it is. So you see that? So like my point is there, I'm not trying to sell you jet engine. I love jet engine. If you want to use it, use the affiliate link. I don't give a shit. Okay. But what I'm saying is that was a cool way that I could do that without using var dump, without using a nested loop or anything like that. And it's all bricks and it's all native and it's still pretty damn fast. I don't really think that we're actually, losing anything there by doing that. What I will say, okay, just as a quick aside, because we're deep into this, is when I was with Elementor, I had to get jet engine because Elementor was lacking in like looping. So I got jet engine and I would do like nested queries, nested loops and stuff. And that is slow as shit because the way you had to do it was instead of pulling in like in bricks, like, a section, everything on this page here, because of frames and just the way that we're, kind of like bricks users generally tend to be like we're using the native elements to bricks, right? And most of the time we're honestly just using like the main basic ones. Like I honestly don't use like most of these. I should get rid of them and all that sort of stuff, right? So, but we're mainly using that. But what I'm just telling you about like the Elementor world, if you're here from there, if you tell anybody, like this is personal experience. This isn't rumor bullshit, okay? At that time, at least, you had to use the jet engine elements down here. You see this? Listing grid, dynamic field. Like you had to use these. So what you had to do there was you had to go to jet engine, which you could still do this in bricks. There's just no reason to, right? You had to go into listings. You had to create a listing item and you had to create it with bricks or blocks or Elementor or whatever. You basically create like its own little magic template type thing. And then you had to put in a listing grid and drop that in there. And like the amount of extra weight in the DOM is outrageous. And then you try to like filter that. That seemed like that was wild. That was a really wild experience. As opposed to this, where it's amazing, where you can just do everything right there in the builder. You do one thing, you query it right there. You can see it all. I mean, that's really one of the biggest things I feel like that drew me to the bricks situation. But I'm probably not selling you guys on anything. You probably are already knowing all that. But anyway, all right, let's wrap this up here within the next, I don't know. I'm having fun still. But what do we have here? We have a reserve. We have our things kind of looped here and related and all that. We still don't, I don't know if I feel a little bad because I don't really feel like I actually answered the question entirely, which is totally on me. How would I actually do this with a reserve, with the, how would I actually do this with the regions of this? I mean, again, I just feel like it really matters how you want to display it. Regions as a CPT, and then put 15 regions on there. relate regions. Regions would be the parent of reserve. I don't know, man. I don't really. I don't know. I don't really feel like that's. Fuck it. Let's try it. Post types. Let's try both ways. I'm trying to think in real time what like the corner cases would be, because these are the types of questions that are really important, but you have no idea like what the problem is going to be until like you're deep into this project and you're like shit. So, and I'm not saying this is the wrong way. I literally don't know. We're just having fun. So regions, and I just want to change the. Is there like a map? Oh, there's a pin. There's definitely a fucking it's unnecessary, but come on. There's definitely a little pin marker. Wait, marker? Oh my god. I don't care. Whatever. Circle's fine. So, so we have regions now. So then what would our regions be? Where is it? Great Kruger. Great Kruger. I don't know if I'm saying this stuff right. Sorry. So we have Great Kruger. Okay, so then we would have to go to relations again. We would go here. We would say regions to reserves. Man. I don't know. Regions? Where are you, regions? Regions, reserves. I mean, I do like it in a sense of like you could have a regions you could have a regions archive. I do like that. That's kind of a cool concept. I wonder if I got my Facebook back yet. Probably not. They did say it has to take like a day. Regions to reserves. Okay, so this would be one region has many reserves. And yeah. Okay, cool. So add relation. Oh, look at that. Appreciate you. Regions, add region, Northern Zululand. Zululand. That's a fun name. Okay. Guys, if you're enjoying this, hit the like button. Appreciate you all. Waterberg, Gutenberg. That's where Gutenberg was made. No, I'm just kidding. Let's see here. Okay, so we have our regions. So here's how would we do this? See again. Well, I'm losing my voice. We actually might have to stop soon. Pause. Okay. All right. So here's what I'm thinking is if we go to reserves and we go to here now. So again, here's kind of cool. They have like parent regions, children lodges. I kind of like it, honestly. Greater Kruger. Okay. So we've created this a little bit, right? There's a couple other things that I wanted to talk about. The first one is that inside of jet engine in relations, there's this concept of parent relation. So select parent relation for the current one. In my mind, if I'm understanding this correctly, the parent relation of reserves to lodges is regions to reserves. I'm going to click it for a second because I think it's going to change the UI a little bit here. These are reserves. What I think that affords you is the option to do like a grandchild relationship. So then you could have like a regions page that shows all of the lodges in the region, which maybe you want, maybe you don't. You had a comment in here, Richard. Where was that? It was about you have like lodges, or do you have regions pages? Oh, I have an yeah. I have an archive page for each region, which has all the lodges in that region. So how did you do that? Did you do it like that? Then each lodge card has a region. reserve price. Region reserve price. If that, this is really more of a business like decision, you know, or like a marketing decision. Like, what are these people coming here for? Are they thinking about the lodge, or are they thinking about the region? So if they're thinking about the region, then that actually might be a really good way to present this. So if we had, wow, this is a fun project. I enjoy this part of this. I really hate designing so much, but I guess that's what Frames is for. Why don't we go here for a second and we say templates. We're gonna throw another beautiful hero in here. Where's the, that's fine, whatever. Stay in South, we'll just say lodges. Cool. Templates. And then somebody comes to this website and they want, I feel like what we need is we need regions. No, it doesn't matter. We'll do it like this. We'll just say like explore all regions. I don't know. And then this would go to I think this is the best way to do this, /regions. If you're doing this, if you're doing the custom post type approach, I'm pretty sure that's the best way to do that. And then let's go back to, I don't have a header. I don't have a header because I'm not actually building a website. I'm just messing around. Yeah. Okay. So this is what we're talking about, right? This is your regions archive, right? And then we would need to do a new template because we didn't do this yet. We go templates, we go add new, we go archive regions, and man, I love dynamic data so much. Archive regions, and we would do our favorite header again. Favorite hero. Insert. And this would be our archive title right there. And down here we would have lodges. I guess, is this how you did this though? Or did you use a taxonomy for the regions when you built this? Would be my question. Okay, so down here, am I typing in the wrong thing here? Do we want to do like feature? We'd probably want to do, use CPTs. Okay. Honestly, probably want like something a little more simple. Is that good enough? I don't know. Probably want like a little picture. This is, I don't know why I'm like really going crazy on this, but I do enjoy it. So I appreciate this question. I think this, but does he have a section? Feature echo or section echo. Oh, is it right there? Yeah. Whatever. I don't know what that script is. Yeah, sign it. Oh, I gotta do this. Damn. You guys are getting the full show here today. The full show, I'll tell you. Custom code tab. Okay. Yeah, sure. I don't know what I'm supposed to, I can't even remember what I'm supposed to click here. I think administrator is what I want. I think I have to click administrator. Could be wrong. Don't quote me on that at all. Save. Refresh. Just build the whole damn website. What do you say? Yeah, sign it. Signed, sealed, delivered. Of course, in the wrong spot. God damn it. There we go. All right, so lodges in archive title. Archive title. What the hell? I think. Save. I'm getting really confused at this point. Regions, didn't do it. So regions, coming back to template settings. This is again our archive for regions. Wait a minute. Did I think about this one? Appreciate you, Brennan, my boy. Dude, you have gone above and beyond. This is way, and this is the way things with these things. You have to give me already. I'm happy. I'm happy we are moving forward here. I'm trying to think about this. What the? This is actually the wrong. I think I'm thinking about. I got too confused here. So this is the regions archive. So like /regions. Well, actually, it's not really the wrong approach. The question that you have to ask yourself, Richard, is this. I mean, really, I know we're talking about technical stuff, but really, it comes down to like how do you think these people are going to be thinking when they come to this website? If like I don't know how you're marketing or whatever, but like whatever this looks like on the marketing side of it is like, are people, what's the most natural progression? Are they going to know a lodge that they're looking for? Or are they going to know a reserve that they're looking for? Or are they going to know a region? I feel like they're probably going to want to know a region, right? So they come to the homepage, which I don't even know where the homepage is anymore. They come to the homepage and we'll say like, well, actually, this would probably say like reserves and lodges in South Africa or something or whatever. And then most likely they're going to probably click. They want to find the reserve. They want to find the region. Oh, I actually just thought of a really good idea. How can I do it right now? I got a real good idea. You like search the region, or you have like a drop down for the region right here. I don't know the audience enough, but an idea would be this is the homepage, and you have they're ultimately looking for a lodge, but they have to look for reserves, and they're ultimately the only real thing that they know maybe is like where they want to go, right? So you can explore all regions, but when you explore all regions, this is what you have to see here. You have to see. I think you have to get them. I think you have to get them to pick the region. I feel like, right? You tell me. Okay. People process is normally I know which region I want. What are the lodges I want to go to? Sometimes price-based, sometimes feature-based. Okay, so it sounds like too reserves are kind of, even though reserves are in the middle, they're kind of like the least important thing most of the time. You still need to know about them, but they're kind of the least important, it seems like. I've used WP Grid Builder Propel for people to use to filter by region or reserve or price. Okay. I still like the idea. I still feel like I like the idea of like picking a region or searching for a region. Would they search or would they pick? I actually kind of like, I don't know. Regardless, I mean, I kind of like this. I like, explore. Oh my God. I don't know. Explore all regions. I don't know. I'm losing it on the copy here. Sorry. But like explore all regions and then come down to feature grid. What the feature grid code? Okay. Card. Delete card. Yeah, this is fine. And then query loop the card. Posts. This would just be all regions. -1. Date, whatever. I like probably alphabetical because who gives a shit if they're. We're not trying to like promote one region over another. I mean, maybe you could do popular or whatever, I guess. But explore all regions. Up. I don't think I set the thing. Template settings, conditions. This would be archive for post type regions. Bang, done. Come back in here, done. So we'd have. Let's look at the flow. Let's look at the flow. Oh man, too many things. Too many things. We're not getting to the egg one today. Okay, so lodges in South Africa, something like that. Then you say, okay, I want to pick my region. So I pick my region, and I didn't set any of the goddamn dynamic data. Okay, boom, oops, boom. Post title, cool. I have no idea what you would put down here. Probably like a short description. You could put the country. You know what? I still don't think you need taxonomies for anything here because I really don't. I don't think you do because I would, here's what I would do this. This is what I would do right here. This is what I would do. I mean, forget about this is a cool frame. I might use this shit, but this is what I would do here. You can do filtering and all that sort of stuff too. Like, I mean, you don't have to just do it like this, but like regions, right? So like / regions, explore all regions. They come to the regions, they see all the regions. Ideally, this would be a big list. It would be an alphabetical order, whatever. Maybe have like, a picture of something behind it. And then they go to Eastern Cape Waterberg, which it's not going to work. Where did Kevin link this? Where's this link at? It must be this. Dynamic post link. Cool. All right. So then you go to, and then you would go to the region, right? Perfect. And then the region single, man, we are deep in the weeds. I love it. So boom, single, regions, whatever. Single, publish, bricks, cool. So then our next one would be everything. Everything looks exactly the same. I love these frames. All right, get rid of this. Boom, boom. I think at this point we're getting a little repetitive, but I mean, hopefully it's somewhat helpful. Because let's wrap it up because like this is really the whole crux of it here. What did I say? Was it hotel? Oh no, it's echo section echo. I did really like that. Of course, the wrong spots. And this would be see, like this is the tough part though, is like, the hierarchy gets a little messy here in a way because didn't do it. Templates, conditions, boom, boom. Oops, nope. Post type, regions, cool. So you could have a hell of a site here. Like this is gonna be like very dense with content. So yeah, so now I like it. So lodges in South Africa, explore the regions. We have all the regions down here. We pick a region, cool. We're in Eastern Cape Waterberg, great. So you'd have information, possibly by dynamic data. But right here though, see, this is the thing for me that's kind of screwy with my head. Like, there's definitely. Ooh, yeah. Yeah. Okay, I think I have another random idea, but like here's the thing is like in this region there's lodges and reserves. So like you'd probably want to go like reserve. I mean I feel like there may be something to say where it's like you put like a section like this. It's like here's the reserves in here, but then here's all the lodges. Honestly, I feel like reserves would make kind of more sense in a way here because it's the next layer down, so to speak. I'm not telling you how to do your project, but you know, I feel like this would kind of just like repeating a lot of steps at this point, but like post title and then sign the damn code, come back into the card, delete card, loop, boom, boom, and then this would be reserves in regions, right? So I'm not even sure if we have any because we're so deep in the stuff here now. Yeah, I don't think there's any in this one. There we go. Perfect. So that one's working, right? So if you saw what I did there, like I just, you know, this is the reserves in the region, and then you could go into, damn it, and then you, oops, you could go, didn't mean to do that. You could go into here. What the hell? Did I not? Better save that. What the hell? Bricks templates, single region. Edit the bricks. Was that a bug? Because I brought that back up and it didn't. That was strange. Dynamic data, post link, cool. Great Kruger back to here. We go to reserve. Now we see logic. I love that personally. I really love that. So here's what I would do, honestly, if I was building this. I know that's a lot of steps to get through all that, but I feel like that makes the most sense in a lot of ways because you would progress through that thing. But I'm gonna give you an idea, and then we're gonna kind of I'm gonna try to answer the question once and for all, and we're gonna talk about this. Here's what I think. Maybe switch these. I don't know. Maybe one is one and one's the other. I don't know. I don't, you know, find your lodge, explore region. I don't know. Okay. But I think explore all regions, they would go, they might know the region. Maybe that's why it's secondary, but like whatever. So then find your lodge would be, I think it would technically be this. Man, I want to do this project. And then at this point, I don't have WP Grid Builder, so I'm probably going to do this differently. But hero, just love adding these random heroes in here. I'm actually just going to delete these buttons on this one because find your lodge, whatever. You could do dynamic for the, actually, whatever, I don't care. Find your lodge, and then down here, this would suck. Yeah, we're gonna be out of frame land here in a second. This is what I would do, honestly. I feel like this is what I would do. I would go this route where now you have another section, and you would have. Is it 2 containers or would it be a block and a block? Let's see here. We'd probably go, I don't know. I'm just going to use random shit here. Do not sue me on the way that this is done. I'm not doing any classes. I'm literally just trying to think of how I would work this. So like you have a grid 2 here. Actually, it's not going to be a grid 2. It would be a get rid of that. Get rid of that. I'm styling at the ID level. Kevin, don't kill me. I would go grid, and I would go grid columns. No. Yes. No. Grid template. Yeah. No. What the fuck are we doing here? Grid columns. I'm always trying to do here. Yeah. So like that. So like 1, 2 or something, and then over here would be your filters. Over here would be your cards. And maybe you make this wider than just that or whatever. But I'm basically telling you what you did before. But this is what I feel like. This is like your search page for lodges. If their ultimate goal is to find a lodge, then you give them an opportunity to find the lodge, and you also had that other realm where you were able to go and like do more research basically. But this is like more of just a quick, let's find some shit, basically. So let's go heading. Let's say like just filters, and there'd be like a bunch of filters in here, which I have used these before. Which I don't know. It's I've used the experimental ones, and they're pretty solid. Alan Blair just dropped a video too. WP Easy, go check him out. What do we got here? Spot on. Appreciate you. Have you used the new built? Yeah. Yeah, we're gonna use that right now. Mark has not given me a feel that it is much to start again. I mean, again, there's a million different ways to do this. Yeah, 100%, definitely. We're just exploring a couple. Appreciate you guys being here. But I love dynamic data and love filtering. I love like that sort of shit. I've never had, like I said, never had WP Grid Builder though, so I don't know exactly what that does. I mean, sort of in essence. I already have them turned on. Haha. Okay. So let's see here. Oops, didn't mean to click that. Okay, so let's say now this one again would be like hard. Honestly, I really like that other one there. I really like the one we've been using. Actually, it'll be a grid. We don't want the section here. We want the grid. No, I really did like that one. Victor is nice. I really do like, what is it though? Echo for what we're doing here, which is the same as before. So it is what it is. These would be your post titles. Damn, this code thing. Get out of here. Let's do this. Let's get out of that one. Get out of that one. Come in here. All right. So yeah, this isn't too bad here. Our loop is our posts, I believe. This would be lodges. This would be this would be I see what we're saying now. Spent all that time getting to this point. I think this is, well, I mean, obviously you would have price somewhere, but let me get rid of this here for a second. Filters, filter, checkbox radio for a region. I feel like, what would your filters be? You'd have like region, you would have reserve, maybe. You'd have price. Yeah, this is the part this is the money making part right here. There's a lot of shit here. So probably gonna have to shut her down. What the hell did I just do there? Oh, I didn't wrap this shit in a block, I don't think. Give me a block. Block. It's fine. Cool. Checkbox. Maybe we play around with this for a second. Target query, feature card echo. Yeah, sure. Input, source. Okay, interesting. Okay, so yeah, this would be interesting, because like we would need to figure out how to where we at? Filters would be things like star rating, reserve, price. You can do radio, then turn them into buttons. It's interesting. I'd agree why it's not more obvious. It's funny. Yeah. Okay. So I'm just trying to think here, like, we have these ones over here, and if we go back out to come here, find your lodge. So we have a ton of lodges over here. I'm trying to think of the most. There's a couple pieces, obviously, but let's talk about the cards for a second. Like there's, where we go here? Regions, lodges. If we go to lodges and we say like test lodge 1 to XYZ and test another lodge ABC connect, boom. So we're gonna have more lodges here. The question is, what is the easiest way lodge it? We have regions, reserves, lodges. Wait a minute. Did I do this? See, because this is where I don't know if I'm just losing my mind at this point or what's going on, but this is where regions. Yeah. See, we didn't do it. So this is to me where it starts to get a little hairy, which is probably the whole reason for the question in general, but I just needed to see it all before I did it. So like, here's the thing. If you go to Great Kruger, right? Damn. 2.5 hours. Fuck yeah. If you go to Great Kruger, right? And you come down here and you have reserves. Okay. So now you have reserves here. This was easy. Because this is like regions to reserves. But actually, this is harder, right? Is it nah, I think it's an archive, right? Fuck it, I don't know it off by heart. What was it? Okay, type better. There we go. And then save and so reserves. What? Oh wait, it is a post. My bad. There we go. So lodges in Great Kruger. This is going to be harder, right? I actually don't know how to do this with bricks. I don't think. I think I would need jet engine. I mean, obviously there's a way, var dump or some sort of thing, within what's it called? Within like just custom coding it. But like I feel like this is a different query because we don't want all the lodges. We don't even want reserves to lodges because this isn't going to work, right? This is going to show us all of it because it doesn't know what the hell to do here. All right, I got to show you guys this. I actually made a funny story about this. I made a video about this in my Elementor days. Yeah, I got to show you this. Okay. We might end it here because I'm not 100% sure on how to do the other stuff. But okay, so here's the thing. I don't know if we talked about this. I don't know if Richard, you already know how to do this, but I'm just gonna do it because I don't know. I think this is worth kind of looking at here. Interesting. Okay. So we have lodges in Great Kruger, right? We have a single, then we have our reserves, which was easy. We could do that with bricks, we could do that with jet engine, like kind of natively or whatever. Once we have the relationship set up. But this is a harder one. And this is like a grandchild thing. Because not all of these are in Great Kruger. I'll show you the power, I think right now, of what I'm talking about here. Let me get rid of this. All right, so jet engine, query builder, new. We're gonna say all lodges in current region. Now, I don't know if this was a problem that you were running into or if I'm just misunderstanding this, but this is how I would probably end up doing this. We want to query lodges, right? So we have 6 lodges in total. But not all of those we don't want to see all of those lodges, and our thing is 2 layers up. It's not just related. It's like 2 layers up. Like we don't want to create another relation from regions to lodges. Like that's not like it's not necessary, because we already have like the kind of the thing there. So we say post in, and we say related. I'm gonna need to remember how to fucking do this. I think it's related grandchildren, and it is reserves, regions to reserves. Grandparent is, yes, come on. No? I might have to look at the other video. Is it grandparents or is it grandchildren? Grandparent is, oh wait. No, fuck. Let's make sure the data is right though for a second. And also, let's go single region card. Where am I at here? Feature card right here. Reserve to lodges. We don't want that. We can't do that. We want Jet Engine Query Builder. We want to refresh this. I don't think it's going to be there. Reload. Boom. Overlay. Where are we at? Right here. Query loop. Query loop. Oh, okay. No. Oh, that's the wrong one. God damn it. Regions to reserves. Down here. Query loop. Query builder. Boom. All lodges in current region. Boom. Come back out here. Okay. So there's nothing. It's not showing anything. Okay. Is it... Oh, also, I'm an idiot. This is not going to tell us shit. This right here is not going to tell us shit in this case, because it doesn't... We'd have to know preview from the page, actually. So we have to go like this. Maybe. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that's going to work. Grandchildren. I think that's... I don't know. If I can't get this in this second, I'm going to... Motherfucker. Lodges in Great Kruger. There's definitely a way to do this. Because there is this. All right. Real quick. I'm doing this, and then I'm getting off here. Real quick. Let me go... I'm going to steal something from myself here real quick in a second. Grand... Nope. Actually, I might have deleted it. Shit. Because I never released it. Oh, no. I got it. If you guys want to see this, I'll drop it in the chat too. I don't know if you give a shit about this, but there you go. This is an unlisted video. You're part of an exclusive club. Where did I write this? Where did I put the query at? Would have been nice if I had chapters in here, but I never released it, so bear with me. This was a really cool thing that I was doing here, though. I was dynamically showing these grandchildren in a form, I think. Yep. Related grandchildren. Okay, show me the drop-down mark. Teachers to courses. Is that what I had? So it was teachers, courses, lessons, and that. So it was related grandchildren. I don't know if that's going to work. Okay, let's see. We're just having fun. Yeah, I figured that's what I had, though. I don't know. I know there's a way to do this without, like, creating another one, but I'm just struggling. So what I did to overcome that was each CPT has separate fields for the region and reserves. Each CPT has separate fields for the region and reserves, and that is why I created it like that, because I couldn't figure out how to separate it in the taxonomy. Okay, I gotta I gotta rethink that. Here, hang on a second. What I did also is my Facebook still down? Piece of shit. So annoying. Okay. What I did to overcome that was each CPT has separate fields for the region and reserves. We're talking about fields now though? And that is why I created it like that, because I couldn't figure out how to separate it in the taxonomy. I still don't think we need taxonomy though. And I'm kind of confused about the separate fields. Are you saying you had actual fields in there for those? Because I mean, I like relations. If we're gonna have regions as a CPT, which I think under this guise of this, it does make sense. Dude, what the? I'm gonna lose sleep over this. Over this query now. Where did this go? Post query. I'm not gonna go back in time. Oh shit! Wait a minute. Courses. Oh, wait a second. Teachers of courses. Hang on. Hold up. Stop the press. So this is definitely this. Did it say current object ID? Oh, it was current user ID, because this one was users to teachers to courses. Which is even crazier. Am I doing this right? Is this set up properly? Save. Refresh. What I'll do is shoot you an email with the login username. You take a look just for interest. Must be shouted. Ah, man, dude, I could do this all day. I appreciate this. This was a lot of fun. I'm gonna try to figure this out real quick. Maybe give it like 5 more minutes. Maybe don't send a password in an email either. That's probably not best practice. All lodges in current region. Yes. This is great. I should do this more often. It's more fun than my work. So. Regions. Great Kruger. Macaulay Reserve. Reserves. I didn't even need to do that. I could have clicked view. That's another cool thing. So, reserve, boom. I know there's... Okay, Kellerzilla, thank you for randomly uploading. Nice, updating, sick. Is there something wrong on this real quick, though? Reserves to lodges, regions to reserves, parents. I'm honestly probably forgetting something, to be completely frank with you, because I know that this is possible. I just can't remember exactly how to do it. So if I figure it out, maybe I'll make a video or something. But all lodges in current region, reserves lodges. Oh, wait a second. Let me try one more thing here. You would think the grandparent would be current object ID, but just for funsies, I'm going to try... No. Damn it, it worked with the current user ID. No idea. This was fun. A little upset I couldn't get that query to work, because that's amazing. And honestly, if you can get that query to work, if you can get the grandparent query to work like that, then there's definitely, you can definitely pretty much do whatever. Damn it, I'm pissed off about that though. No idea. No idea. I'll probably figure it out. Maybe I'll talk about it next stream or something like that. But guys, this has been fantastic. I appreciate all of you. Thank you so much. If you just popped in or if you saw it live, saw it on the replay, hopefully you learned something. I'll try to make more structured content like this moving forward. But yeah, I had fun. I really enjoy that aspect of building websites. So I'm down to do it more. Maybe we'll do the egg example next week. We'll see. I don't know. But that's it. Thank you guys so much. Appreciate it. We'll talk to